レクイエム。
Alright, here in the channel I like to cover a lot of Dragon Ball content because Dragon Ball is basically my basis for loving all of anime, you know, and I definitely like to show support for that. Now, I talked about Tenkaichi 2, I believe, before. It's obviously my favorite Tenkaichi game because the gameplay itself is super solid. The story mode itself is super solid. I think the only thing that Dragon Ball Tenkaichi 3 really had was characters. Everybody loves it to death, though. I asked everybody and they love Tenkaichi 3 to death. I love the characters too, but I mean, I guess back then, if you're fighting against your friends and stuff, you don't really care about like the story mode or whatever. You just care about how many characters you get to choose from. But let's get a little weird from the topic now. I was actually having a very in-depth discussion with another small YouTuber, and we were talking about backwards compatibility. And while we both agree that it would be a nice feature to be implemented, I don't think it's necessarily necessary. I guess, if that makes sense. This is because we took a consensus among our friends and we talked about, okay, you know, specifically, and we're going to keep this video a little bit more Dragon Ball. I just want to talk about this and as it pertains to what I'm talking about. We talked about basically what games would you go back and play, and if you played it, would you really play it all the way through? You know, if you had the free backwards compatibility. Now, we're not talking about like PS5, PS4 type thing. That obviously that should be a thing because you should be able to carry your last gen games back. And there's a lot of people that would actually go back and play. Me personally, I've went back and played a lot of GameCube games. You know, just went back and played a lot of GameCube games back in the day on like newer systems. So I can definitely understand the need to go back and play. But I thought about my PS2. My PS2 was like the generation of gamer for me where I had the most fun of all time. Like I've had like the most fun. But the thing is like I felt like if I go back to PS2, I was going to have such a fun time because there was so many different games in which I really, really, really wanted to play. And then I actually looked at it and I realized a lot of these games I really wouldn't go back and play. Now, when I originally got the PS2 and I got all the software to set it up or whatever, I got everything set up, I played it on a regular TV, which looked horrible, so I had to switch to like a monitor or whatever. It was the whole thing. I played Ballers. I played like one Naruto game. But I played a lot of different games on Mortal Kombat. I played a lot of different games when I went back. But the only two games I really stuck with was Ballers and Tenkaichi 2. Now, Tenkaichi 2 was like my favorite. I would definitely say my favorite game as far as Tenkaichi goes. Like, that was definitely my favorite. Because Budokai 2 and Tenkaichi 2 are my favorites out of their respective series. I just felt like maybe in the middle they got it right. You know, Tenkaichi 3 had a lot of different characters. And it also had like a lot of different side things you can do. Like you can just go around fighting a lot of different enemies and stuff, and that was really cool back in the day because they added like replay value and stuff. But the story mode of Tenkaichi 2 was just unbeatable. I love the way they did everything with that game. The thing is, most of the time when I play these series, I can't even remember what I did with the first version in the game. Like I don't remember really at all Tenkaichi 1. I don't remember it at all, honestly. Not saying it was a bad game. It's just not really in my memory. As far as Budokai 1 goes, I don't remember that one either. I remember it went to like the ShoSaga, and that was it, if I'm not mistaken. But it was very, very beta stages to what would later become some of the greatest games on the PS2 history. So, of course, when I got back to, you know, really set in what I was going to do, because for one, the PS2 was acting really tricky. So it was like, sometimes it wouldn't boot up, sometimes it would. So I finally got to boot up Tenkaichi 2. And for some reason, this was the only game I have beaten twice. Because I've played a lot of games in my life. You know, I've played a lot of different games in my life. This specifically is the only game I've ever just beaten all the way twice. Just because I don't like playing like old experiences. I like playing like an in-game content. I love that. But I don't like going back to another game and trying to finish it. Eventually, I just remember certain parts. I just get bored. So I felt it weird that this game was just so good. And not to mention, I also hate playing Dragon Ball Z games with the Rads to Boo thing. You know, and this has more. It has GT characters in it too. And everything. If I'm not mistaken, I think they do. Yeah, I think they definitely do got GT characters in Tenkaichi 2. Now, I went back and played Tenkaichi 2. I played it all the way through, all the story mode. So I see everything all over again. Which is weird, because I couldn't even finish Kakarot. I got maybe like right to the end of Kakarot, and I just kind of dropped it. Because It felt like a high-end version of, again, the same events I've seen over and over again. I've rewatched Dragon Ball Z multiple times. I've, played multiple Dragon Ball Z games where they show me the same formula over and over again. And it's just like, yeah, I don't really want to play this anymore. I did get Kakarot on Switch, so hopefully I'll play it a little bit better on Switch, but Tenkaichi 2 being the only game for me to complete out of all the thousands of games, True Crime LA, Def Jam and stuff, I really never really gave him a chance. And the reason why I said that, in general, this is not like a broad topic talking about backwards credibility, and I'm talking strictly on Tenkaichi 2, it's just to the simple fact that that was the only PS2 game. The PS2 was like my favorite system of all time. Had so many different experiences on it. It was my first time playing Final Fantasy, first time playing pretty much a lot of the different games that would shape my life in the future. But yet, Tenkaichi 2 was the only game I could really put in and play and just have any kind of fun with. That's what I feel like in terms of backwards credibility. It's cool. It's interesting. I definitely think games like Dragon Ball Z HD Collection and stuff, which has like the first game and then the third game for the Budokai series, should definitely be backwards compatible. If you'll notice that a lot of the different anime games aren't really backwards compatible on Xbox either. I mean, there are maybe if you put the disc in, but as far as like I got the Series S, I can never buy any of them on the store, which I could definitely understand. That's like space and everything. I get it. That's the same reason why the Sony is shutting down their stores at the moment. But we really can't get these games. I feel like if we're going to be backwards compatibility, allow us to have like a store or a service that gives us these old games. PlayStation Now is good, but it could have been better. I talked about that in the video. But with that being said, guys, let me ask you guys a smaller and a broader question at the same time. If you could go back and only play one game from the PS2 era, what would it be? That's the first one. The second one is, think hard and long about backwards compatibility. How much time would you really give to backwards compatibility? Would you rather focus on the games being compatible, like older titles being compatible, or would you rather just try to move on to something else? With that being said, guys, please like, subscribe. I'll see you guys next video.